Hello everyone. So I have some satellite imagery to look at here from Sevastopol. Now, these show some very interesting things. So we'll go through what's here first. So these images were shared by MT Anderson on Twitter and are from the 22nd of January. Afterwards, I'll have a quick look at Novorossiysk. So this first image is from a frigate here at Sevastopol. So you can see here we mainly have patrol ships and similar. From left to right, a Natia-class minesweeper, a Tarantul-class corvette, and an Alexandric-class minesweeper. Now, these minesweepers are armed with light guns and cannons of the like, so I think it likely these get used for patrol duties outside Sevastopol to defend the harbour against Ukrainian marine drones. The Black Sea Fleet has 6 Natia-class minesweepers in service, 5 Tarantuls in service, and 3 Alexandrics. Now this Tarantul is a different one from the one which was confirmed destroyed a few days ago. That Tarantul, also called the Senka, is a smaller, light patrol boat. These Tarantuls are large corvettes. Next up we have a pair of Bora-class hovercraft. One of these was hit by a marine drone last year and suffered minor damage, but it was a quick and easy fix. There are just 2 in service. At the frigate pier itself we have the Ivan Kurs, an intelligence ship. Ukraine did report hitting this with marine drones last year, but I don't think the hit was a success, as far as I'm aware, this never ended up in dry dock. This is the only one of its type in the Black Sea Fleet. Next up, the only 2 frigates based at Sevastopol at the moment are here. The 2 Krivac-class, the Ladny and the Pietlivy. These are basically air defence frigates. They don't launch Caliber or Onyx missiles, so they aren't as important targets as the Admiral Grigorovich-class frigates, and these play little role during the war. Saying that, they do provide air defence over Sevastopol, so would be pretty solid targets for that reason. Not to mention for the embarrassment of Russia losing another large warship and a frigate. These are typically found berthed here, but do move to different positions. I expect Russia rotates them a bit to stop them from being too static and so inviting a storm shadow strike. These are the only 2 Krivacs in the Black Sea Fleet. Finally here, a small Grisha-class corvette. 6 of these are in service. Again, these likely carry out patrol duties around Sevastopol to defend against marine drones. Here, we're going to get to a bit more interesting stuff. Pivdena Bay and the subpens. So highlighted another Alexandric-class minesweeper. What of most interest at Pivdena Bay? 2 Ropucha-class ships. These are the large transport ships which Russia uses to carry out sea lift operations between Novorossiysk and Sevastopol. So these are major targets, and Ukraine has hit these hard in the war in the past. The Novocherkassk and the Minsk were both destroyed by Ukraine, and the Gornyak had a hole put in it. The Black Sea Fleet officially had 4 of these in service at the start of the war, but 5 additional ones were sent from the Baltic Fleet and 2 from the Northern Fleet to help supplement transport operations. The subpen, interestingly, you can see is empty of submarines. Now, in the past we've seen that just one, the Alrosa, is now based at Sevastopol. The other one's at Novorossiysk. So when we check Novorossiysk's satellite imagery, we'll see if they're all there or not. Now, after the strike on the Minsk, there were 5 of these in service with the Black Sea Fleet. One of them deployed to the Mediterranean. There's also an additional one, the 6th, in the Baltic, currently being refitted. These are used to launch Caliber missiles, and so are major targets for Ukraine. Speaking of kilos, let's check up on our old friend the Rostov-on-Don. So you can see it's still in dry dock. The Rapua, the Minsk, we saw this had been removed from dry dock a couple of months ago, and you can see it here still floating, but it's clearly not anywhere ready for a return to surface, as the superstructure is still completely gone, not to mention the damage inside of important equipment. Here is the repair bay. 2 Grisha-class corvettes are seen here, likely just needing minor maintenance if anything. I haven't seen these in dry dock, and no drone attacks have been reported hitting one, so not much else to say about this part. Now here, the best bit, as you can see here, all of the dry docks are occupied, and look at that for a bunch of targets. 2 landing craft in one dry dock a Ropucha and an Alligator-class. Then there's a Ropucha-class ship in the dry dock next to it. There's also a smaller ship which I don't recognise just below that, and to the left, another ship. These two are likely one of the Black Sea Fleet's many miscellaneous utility vehicles, which we do have a lot of, from cable layers, oil skimmers, salvage ships, fire ships, and more. So this is definitely an interesting area. Now, one of these Ropuchas I think may be the Gorniak. Remember, this was holed last year near Novorossiysk by a marine drone, and it entered dry dock at Novorossiysk. It was then hastily repatched and sent to Sevastopol a month later. Russian shields saying it was back in service, but I think that would be impossible. I think it was sent there to enter the main dry dock at Sevastopol to undergo more specialised repairs. But a couple of days after it arrived, Minsk was hit by a storm shadow, blocking the dry dock. Now, these dry docks are free, and we're seeing a Ropucha inside, which I think would be the Gorniak. The other ships here, I can't say what's wrong with them. Could be regular maintenance, or it could be an unreported drone strike. Remember, a Stenka-class patrol ship was sunk by a marine drone in December, an incident we knew nothing about until late January, about a week or so ago. In addition to these being plumb targets, it means that for now, 3 more of Russia's logistical fleet of these large landing ships are out of action. So, this will likely have an impact on the supply to Crimea. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine hasn't got these in their crosshairs already. We've seen that dry dock ships are vulnerable, as they're stationary. No chance of them being moved during the missile's flight and that sort of thing. And 2 landing craft near each other like that also have a chance of more damage being caused by shrapnel and secondary explosions and the like. So these are juicy targets indeed. And I definitely smell an incoming storm shadow strike on one of these. Now, a check of Novorossiysk too. So a nice overview of the base itself here, from the 23rd of January. You can see 2 of the Grigorovich-class frigates are here, as well as 2 Kilo-class submarines. Zoomed in on the section, a big cluster of different ships here. Now, a number of patrol boats which likely patrol the nearby Crimean Bridge and carry out escort duties for tankers, cargo vessels and the like. This includes 2 Karakurt-class, a Goya-class, a Project 22160 and a Natya-class. Also here, an Ivan Gren-class transporter and a Ropucha transporter, and also a Buyanem, another of the key ships which launch as frigates. Finally, a Dugong-class small transport ship. One of these, remember, was hit by a marine drone off the coast of Crimea last year. So the bulk of the Black Sea Fleet's important ships, those that launch Caliber and Onyx missiles, are still at Novorossiysk, driven back here because Sevastopol was considered too vulnerable. Now, we don't have images of the other docks, for one at Theodosia, where the Ropucha-class was destroyed, and the dock near Kerch, where the Askold was given a new asshole. So, I don't know if there are other Black Sea Fleet ships there too. We know at Theodosia there were seen Buyanem-class ships parked there as well. Maybe they're still there, who knows? Or it could be that the missing ones we can't see here, such as the other Buyanems and the other Project 22160s, are out on patrol somewhere. The most interesting thing what we saw though, those transport ships in repair bay at Sevastopol. They are sitting ducks. If I was a betting man, I'd put money on those being the next potential target for Storm Shadow or Scalp. So hopefully I can do an update about those very soon when we've transitioned to submarine. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. Now I'm going to play 2 videos from NAFO about the ongoing fundraiser with them, which features Sukamaima's channel patches. Big thanks to everybody who's donated so far, and take care everybody.
Greetings. We are Special Drone Squad of 66th Brigade of Ukrainian Armed Forces. We need a pickup truck for evacuation our wounded soldiers and aero scouting. We asking NAFO community and charity fund of 69 Sniffing Brigade to help us. Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to heroes!
Good time of the day, dear friends. We are the military of the 110th Separate Battalion of Territorial Defense of Luhansk region. Currently, it is occupied by aggressor. In a few days, we are heading to liberate our lands towards the Kupiansk direction, where fierce battles are taking place. We are soliciting support from the NAFO and 69th Sniffing Brigade Charitable Foundation. Please help us. We need passable pickup trucks for mobile combat groups of the air forces, specifically for drone operators to adjust fire on the enemy. We are grateful for your help. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!